I'm Ray Lowrie, and I'm a former teacher at Chimicum Gulch Institute of Higher Technology, known as Chimicum School District. In my time there, I was able to get a grant to build a small hatchery, salmon hatchery, and then a larger grant later on to do a number of things, but the main one, as far as I was concerned, was building a school boat 28 feet long. Took 80 or so students, about 2 years to build. Had a great time. 1,000 kids went through learning how to maintain a boat, operate a boat, and safety features needed on a boat. Oh, when I was a little child, I really don't know how old, but probably, I hadn't been walking very long when I caught my first fish. We fished through a hole in the dock and caught shiners. So that was my first fish, a viviparous perch, about 3 inches long, and been going at it ever since. So taught at Chimicum for 32 years and raised thousands of salmon there, and did a lot of projects with kids highly involved in geology of the stream, morphology of the stream, learning all that's possible to know that level about anadromous fish versus non-adromous fish. All the life that centers itself on a stream like Chimicum, and the importance of the total watershed to a viable community like Chimicum Hadlock area. And in '70 we started building the hatchery. We used it for 20 years, about 100,000 little fish every year. We'd get about 120,000 eggs from quilting, and we hatched them on floating baskets. We made baskets and put the eggs in it. Then we found that crows and herons and everything discovered the eggs, so we had to build a temporary shelter over part of the pond raceway to keep them out of there. And then when the little fish got in the pond, we found that the crows learned how to fish for them. They'd stick their bills down in the water and wiggle, and the fish would come up and nibble at the bills. So we had to make a screen over the top to keep the birds out. So we learned as we went along, and we had 8 different places on the stream where we would put young fish. We'd raise them up till they were about 320 to the pound, and that would be sometime late May, early July. These are coho, and we would put them in the creek. The first year we did stream studies, we found 15 salmon, period. That's counting bodies, live ones, everything. And some of them were dog salmon and some were silvers. The year before the disastrous rain wiped out one of the best spawning years ever in that stream, we had over 5,000 silvers and over 2,000 dog salmon. The kids actually absolutely loved salmon. They liked being around them. They liked the idea, but there's a primitive chromosome or something there that just said, well, you got to kill them, you know. And once, though, they invested themselves, spent so much time on the creek in a positive way, saw what a struggle the fish had, and then took ownership of the fish. Yeah, they became real advocates of life with fish. Somewhere in the time I was at Chimicum, I became involved with NOSC, North Olympic Salmon Coalition, in that they gave me some money to do a project, and got to know them, and eventually became a board member for a number of years. Happy years, I might add. Sal Grundall, I was telling you about, he had a big excavator, and so he dug this humongous hole, and then Wild Olympic Salmon got a work gang. They came down, they built step dams, so there's kind of a fish ladder, and then Al reconstructed the old original stream. We went upstream of the pond Al dug and made little check dams, so we'd have a plunge pool and a riffle and then another pool. And we did that down below. We made 26 of those in the fields going out to the main stream of Chimicum Creek through Jim Shaw's place. And they were very low, mainly for the little fish, because they had to have a certain depth of water to find food and not be just flushed out. So they could, as one kid said, matriculate their way out, you know. I remember there was a huge job on the Pish River and one of his tributaries, and the people that lived on or near the stream donated a lot of equipment and time and everything into it. And that was another thing. We got other government entities to put up money for, and then we get locals to put up equipment and labor and so on. It's a wonderful project. The bay was rich. There were big runs of herring. Winter salmon fishing in here was amazing. There's a 3-foot difference between Oak Bay and this bay, so there'll be a flow back and forth, and it'll flush then, and that should help a lot. Whoever had the original idea to divide the state up into groups like this, like NOSC, that was a great idea, I thought, and something that has brought a lot to the communities all over the state. And now I'm really proud to see that they've come to the really major, as far as I'm concerned, major project of their careers, their existence, and that's building the bridge between Indian and Marrowstone Island. And a lot of credit goes to Kevin, who was early into that idea and stuck with it, and now it's going to happen.